want to know how I did this wreath, then stick around. I'm not letting you go anywhere. Okay, I am going to make another small Halloween wreath. This one's going to be all black and red with the exception of a few little white sprinkles here and there. You're going to need the two wreath forms that come in a 2-pack from Dollar Tree. They're the 8-inch. We're only going to need one, so save the other one for another day. You're going to need a glue gun, whatever leftover flowers that you have laying around. I just took mine and spray painted them. These are all leftover flowers that I had, and I just spray painted them black. I have 2 spools of black ribbon, 1 spool of like a deep red or burgundy, and then I have these little red berries and these little tiny red roses. You can use any kind of flower that's deep red and small from the Dollar Tree. I also have parts, these spiders here, and these little branches, and these leaves, and this one single flower was one of the flowers that they sold in the bunch from Dollar Tree with the eyeballs on. So all these things here, the leaves, the spiders, and these little branchy things, these are all from those flowers with the eyeballs on. And we're going to use all those. And then these are just like little sprigs of decoration, and you can get these at Michael's and Hobby Lobby, and they're about 99 cents for a decent sized bunch. All right, first thing we're going to do is pick out our ribbon. I'm just going to use this black ribbon here. One of these ribbons is satiny and the other one's got like a ridgy kind of texture. I'm going to go with the ridgy one, and I'm just going to start by wrapping my wreath all in this black ribbon. I know you guys are probably sick and tired of me making wreaths, because I just recently made about, I don't even know how many I just made. God. But I know. I need to get on with other projects, and I promise you that I will. I have a bunch more Halloween things that I would like to do. But if it starts to get too late in the season, I'm going to switch it over to Christmas and do a couple ideas with that. And then I can always switch back to Halloween after Christmas, because you can always watch it or prepare ahead of time for next Halloween and gather supplies and, you know, be ready to do any of the crafts that I show you. You can always be ready to do them next Halloween. This is like really tedious doing this, I know, but I just got done watching The Walking Dead, Season 10, Episode 3, I believe, and I am so excited. I love The Walking Dead. Comment down below if you love The Walking Dead. I am a huge fan. They're at the part with the Whisperers, and they've trespassed against their borderline, and they're not happy. So things about to get crazy, and I can't wait for the next episode. I buy all of the seasons on a box set so I can watch them whenever I want. I know that they have them on, you know, Netflix and stuff like that, but I like to have them just in case Netflix decides one day, hey, you know what, we're not gonna put these on here. We want to make room for something else. You know how sometimes that happens. So I would rather have them just in case. I love any kind of zombie movie, any kind of horror movie. I'm not really into the girly girl movies. I'm more of a blood and guts and gore kind of girl. And I've watched so many horror movies that they don't even faze me anymore. They don't. I can tell you basically what's going to happen before it happens. And there really hasn't been that many out that have been, you know, really great. But I like to watch them anyway. I like to watch B flicks. Sometimes they're really funny. Hang on, I gotta turn off my alarm here. I like to watch B flicks. Sometimes they're really funny. Like if you have seen Oogie Boogie or Bad Milo, some of those are pretty hilarious. The stuff they make them do. And there's one about dolls. I forget. It's not Puppet Master, but I don't know if it's toys or if it's, I forget what it is. But I was watching it with my daughter one time, and we were watching it, and they made the baby doll flip the guy off before they killed him, and we just laughed hysterically. We thought that was hilarious. And yeah, another thing I like is like I like science fiction stuff too, or like you know, like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. I love Game of Thrones. When that zombie dragon came out, oh my god, I was dying. But yeah, I love anything like that. I've always been into horror movies ever since I was a kid. That's always been my thing. I always loved Halloween. I always loved, you know, scary decorations and... Alright, so we got our wreath wound up pretty tightly and nice and neatly here. It looks pretty nice. And now we're just going to start... I'm going to clip it. These little spiders have nubs on, so I want to make sure that all the little nubs are really flush with the spider's body, so when you glue it on, it's closer to the wreath. It stays on. All right. These all are from those flowers. And I'm just going to... I did the same thing with the leaves. I snipped the bottom of the part of the stem here that would go onto the wire stick to hold it up, so that once you glue them, they'll be flush on a wreath. All right, now I'm just going to go around in like a clockwise way here and try to just glue on some of these leaves real quick. I'll just glue them, you know, north, south, east, west for now. And then we'll go in between. If we have enough, we'll see how many we have after that. We're probably not going to have that many left. All right, so we'll have to be choosy of where we want to do those too. So I'll probably put one diagonal and top and bottom. So I only have two left. Okay, we got north, south, east, west with the black leaves here, and then we're just going to put one and one here. Okay. You're going to take your biggest, prettiest flower, and that's going to be in your middle. I want to snip this part down. Be careful when you snip these on the bottom, because sometimes when you snip them too close, your whole flower will start to fall apart. But that's alright, because you can always hot glue the pieces. Alright, so that's what we got so far. And then we're just going to work around the wreath here. Placing the flowers. I might put this other big one across from the one at the bottom, since it's pretty decent sized. So I'm going to have a big flower on the bottom, big flower on the top. Okay? Or it could be the side, whatever you choose, whatever way you choose. And then I'm going to put the smaller ones on the side here, like this. I know it's kind of hard to see because it's all black. Alright, and then a few more flowers here. I'm just going to glue this big one really tight to the bottom of the other one. See, we were just talking about these bottoms falling off. I just glued it right back on, and then just put more glue on the outside, that's all. And I'm going to make this one go really close to the other one we already put on the bottom. Alright. There we go. Now, I want to try to put these little branches in here. Stick that in there. So And I'll probably put one on each side where the double flowers are on the bottom. And I'm just gluing it right to the wreath. Once it's dried, you can wrap it around. You can spread it out better. Just try not to move it around too much until it's dried. Or touch it with your fingers, you know, like I like to do. If you feel like these aren't going to stay on with the glue, you can always use a little bit of craft wire too and just wrap it around. Glue it on the best you can and then just wrap some craft wire around it. I think you'll be all right. You'll be able to get it in there and get it glued. You might need to hold it down for a minute or two. Just watch your fingers. So what is the one show that you guys can sit there and just watch all the time? For me, that's any horror movie. That is Walking Dead. I can watch Z Nation. I can sit there and watch all the episodes of, you know, those stories where they tell you about hauntings. I love those. I love YouTube channels with people that go around do ghost hunting. I could sit there and watch those all day. I mean, anything like that for me. All right, now we're just going to do the same thing on the other side. We're just going to put some of these, just keeping them going around, you know, the wreath. Put another one, do another one here. And if you're scared of horror movies, what movie scares you the most? And has anyone ever tried to play a trick on you while watching a scary movie? Good. Come on, you. This one's going to need to hold it for a second. So you don't burn yourself. You can also use like the end of a paintbrush, or I have this little metal stick. I don't even know what it is anymore. Might have been part of a coat hanger, metal coat hanger, that I just straightened out. And usually that's what I use if it's something where I know I'm totally going to get burned. I don't even try it because I get burned enough, as you guys know, without even trying. All right, so this is pretty crazy looking, right? All right. So I think I might split this one in half if I can. Some of these are like really tightly wound around their pain in the butt, but I think I might be able to get this one pretty easy. Usually if you just split them in half where you want them and then give it a nice hard pull, it comes apart. Like that. Now, of course, you'll have to take your piece that you unraveled and ravel it back up so it stays in one piece. And it makes it easier for you to glue down. So you don't have to glue down 15 different ones. All right. And then same thing with this side. Just Take an extra piece and ravel it around. And then cut it down where you want. I liked watching the horror movies when I was a kid because some of the stuff they would say, just, it cracked me up. I thought it was hilarious. You know, like they have these sarcastic wise butt comments, and I just thought it was great. Like Leprechaun, he always says smart mouth stuff, and Freddy Krueger, he always has great stuff to say. Chucky too comes out with some good ones when he when he's after people. They have good one-liners. All right, so now we have roses. And I'm probably going to cut these stems really short. And then I'm just going to start seeing where I need a little bit of color to pop. Because I don't have very many of these, so I have to use them sparingly. And you don't really need that many because this is just a tiny wreath. So you're not going to need a lot of flowers. And if you can't find them at Dollar Tree, you can always go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's, but I'm sure you could probably find some kind of red flower. If not, you know what, you can always, sometimes what I do is if I want a certain color flower and say the season is past and I know, say I wanted a red flower for Halloween, and they didn't have any that I liked, sometimes if you wait for the next holiday or wait for 2 more holidays to pass, like if you wait for Christmas, you know they're going to have some sort of red flower or berry or something like that that you might be able to use. So sometimes you have to wait and get it on Christmas, say, and then save it for Halloween. All right, so wow, that one's definitely really long here. I think I might say that one. Let's see. Maybe a top one right there. That'll be fine. All right. And we're just going to put the little berries on. Just shove these on random spots here. Whoa. That was almost a burn on my finger. All right. I'm just cutting them really short. There's these little berries. I only have like 5 or 6. I only had like 5 or 6 of these roses as well. And I'm just randomly placing them. Alright. We'll put this one down here. Okay, and then I feel like, let's see if I can tuck this flower in somewhere. No, it looks weird there. I'm going to just do that. And then we have those branchy things. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them. If I do, I will probably use them sparingly because we got a lot going on here already. And I don't want to overdo it. We want to put a couple spiders on. I have, what, 5 spiders, but I'm not sure that I'll use all 5. You want to put them in different spots, you know. And then I have to decide if I want to make a bow or not. And there's a lot of stuff going on over here, so we definitely need one over here. Come on, sit still, you. That's the cool thing about these, is you can move them wherever you want. All right. Hang on there, little guy. Let's see. Should we do one more? Oh, that one's got purple glitter. Oh, that one does too. All right, 3 is good. Now let's see about these branchy things here. First, if you're not sure, just tuck them into your wreath until you get an idea. Is it something you want on it or isn't it? You can always take it back out and glue it, but if you glue it right away, sometimes it's hard to get it back off of your wreath because it gets stuck to the ribbon. And then if you want to take it all apart, then you really have a mess because then everything is stuck to the ribbon. I've done that. Okay, see what we're doing here? All right. Oh, this guy does not want to stay still. I'm going to have to re-glue him. Spin it so I can try to avoid getting burned. All right, I'm going to have to hold that for a second. I've only got about 2 branches left. I didn't think I was going to use them all, but I kind of like how it's adding to the creepiness. think I'm going to use the rest of these, and then we're going to make a little bow, and we're going to be finished. Don't worry about your glue webs. It only adds to the realness for your spiders. I'm kind of wishing I moved this flower just a little bit, so I might just peel them off, and hopefully I don't wreck everything. See that I did? This is one that I spray painted. It was a regular old flower. I got spray painted. I'm going to move that over because we lost a berry. Where did we lose a berry? Not really sure. And you can also, you know, tie these, I don't even know what you would call them, these little branches with the berries. I guess they're supposed to be berries on them. You can tie them around your wreath so it's more secure. But I think right here, that's kind of the top, right? Here is where I would put a bow. Probably right there. All right, so let me glue this guy on. And I just want this bow to have really long tails. How's that? All right, you got to get some craft wire too. I forgot to mention that. Or you could use jute. Sometimes I use jute, but craft wire is easier. And I like to keep my spools of ribbon when they're opened and, you know, they all unravel. Just put a rubber band around it. That's one way to keep it from constantly unraveling. All right, so I'm just going to start by making some loops, trying to figure out how big do I want this bow. It's just going to be a nice floppy bow because there's no wire in this ribbon at all, so it's just going to be really loose and floppy, and it's going to hang down. And I think that'll be a perfect ribbon for this wreath. So maybe a tiny bit bigger here. Not that big. All right. So I want my loop to be a little bit floppy, but I don't want them to be so big where they're like drooping down, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's that compared to the other one, big difference. All right, so I'm just going to keep going back and forth, trying to keep them even. And if you need to know if they're even, stick your fingers in it and pull them up together, and you'll see, are they even? Yes, they are. So then just keep making them. And if they're a little off, once you wrap the craft wire around, you can always pull it a little tiny bit. You can't pull it a lot, but you can pull it a little bit and even them out a bit. And how many ever loops you want to make on each side is up to you. You could do an even number. You can do an odd number. That's all entirely up to you. I'm going to do a pretty good amount of loops on each side. So far, I think I have 4 here. Yep. We're going to go 5. I want to try to use up all this ribbon. Here comes 6. And the satin ribbon gets hard to hold because it's slippery. So just be careful. Here goes loop 8. I know 7. I can't count. And now 8. Here's 9. Still got a whole bunch of ribbon here. Here's 10. And I think I'm going to end it with 10. And then I'm just going to, I still have this in my hand. And to make tails, you just pull a very long piece up and let it go if you want those. So there's 2 tails. Okay, because you can cut this in half and there'll be 2 pieces. I am going to go with 4 pieces. And I'm going to leave the next set just a tiny bit longer. All right. And now you just wrap some wire. Give yourself extra wire. That way when your ribbon is done, you have something to tie it on your wreath with. All right. Extra long pieces of wire so it can go around my wreath. All right, these tails here, we're just going to cut these. We're going to just line them up like this and straight across. You can be fancy and dovetail it, but I have really garbage scissors. Just make a little triangle shape at the bottom, snip it out. Or some people just fold it in half and give it a snip. Then we're going to tie this wreath at the top here. I think that was the perfect ribbon for this wreath for bow. I'm just trying to make a loop for me to hang it up, that's all. That's why I said leave extra wire. And here is our little wreath that we just made. You could stick these tails behind it as well so you could see however you want it. You could leave them in the back or you could pull them in the front, however you like it. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I promise I'm almost done with the wreaths. I have enough for one more fall wreath. I might wait, like I said, and do another Halloween project. I still have a bunch more ideas, but I know a lot of people are already on to Christmas. But this is our final product. As always, thank you for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll see you in the next video.